as I pieced my life back together after stepping away from all the people who had been forcing me into their behavioral patterns, I wake up to see some of the agendas, and I can't really know. And let me preface this before I say anything further, is this is all speculation, but I'm hoping that if I can lay the groundwork and put this speculation out there, that if it does come to pass, that it'll help to solidify my side of the story a little bit more. Welcome on, Kat. How are you? Tammy, how's it going? Just say hello as you're coming in. I'll give everybody a minute or two. Back to basics. Hi. Hi, Jeff. Wine Mom, welcome on. So I have been scammed, abused, and preyed upon by pedophiles and creeps. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and I invite you to laugh with me, if it's possible to laugh at any of this. It's the part of my life that was tragic, and I'm trying to laugh at it just to be able to move on from it. Is if I would have just chosen a different username that didn't have to do with feet, I may have attracted a different demographic. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with people that like feet. But you know what? Unique people are found in unique places, some of them good, some of them bad. And if I would have been dealing with normal bad people, I probably would have understood more of what was going on. But I attracted a whole lot of unique bad people. And I am starting to remember that there were unique good people in the beginning too. It may seem that I chose the bad people. I chose the people that stepped into my atmosphere first because I was lonely and scared. And I still don't know. That's the worst part, is I have no idea. What I do know is where my life has gone and the choices I've made. So with that said, I will go into that I believe I was scammed, and I'm not going to find out until the future whether or not I was scammed. And we're talking years worth of planning to scam me. Am I married? Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. Thanks. Do I let people join on the broadcast? Not right now. Maybe in the future. Am I wearing socks? That's a personal question. And anarchy. Okay. Am I still with Kate? Also, guys, okay. In reference to my personal life, it is not any of your business unless I let you in on it. If I don't tell you, and I say it's not your business, that's how it is. I get that there are people out there that don't know how to respect boundaries. I was one of them. I've learned my lesson. Let it go. Anything you've seen in the past is nothing like what it is now, because there were people in my environment that toxic is an understatement. It's like the depths of hell crawled out and found their way into my house, into my home. So before you judge, I've dealt with people over the past couple of years that you don't even think exist. So please let it go and understand that you will come to see in time. And whether that is through finding out that I've been scammed or finding out that people are just trying to silence me, whether you like it or not, there is an agenda. Or it's possible that people are just that crazy and there's no agenda here at all. And I'll tell you what, as crazy as this might sound, part of me hopes that I find out. Part of me hopes that people take me to court over money. Part of me hopes that people try to put me in jail. And the reasons for that don't have to do with guilt. They have to do with, if all of this happened and there's no agenda, the world is completely nuts and there's nothing I can do about it. And that's going to make me want to hide in a hole for the rest of my life. So with everything that has happened to me and choices that I've made that I can't even comprehend that I've made, I'm really hoping there's an agenda behind it, because at least then I have an explanation. And if I don't have an explanation, that's going to be even harder for me to cope with. So that's where I'm at. Who hurt me? Who right now I can probably count on one hand who hasn't. But maybe you can also count on one hand who I haven't hurt. So, venture to guess, venture to say, I may have hurt people in self-defense. But regardless, I'd like to think moving forward that I can find a way around having to hurt others and, to defend myself. I have to, the pen is mightier than the sword, one might say. I don't know if that's true all the time. What I am coming to see is that there are ways that I can move forward without having to have those people anywhere near my personal life. If you see on Twitter me going back and forth with people, it's usually satirical. It's usually marketing. It's usually just trolling back with people who are, just looking for attention. So I give them that attention, but it's mostly satirical. And I don't mean funny. I mean, I am being satirical with them because I know they're not looking for an answer. I know they're not looking for solutions 90% of the time. And then 10% of the people that are, I don't currently have the ability to tell the difference. And until they're nicer to me, I'm not really going to be able to have the conversation with them anyway. So I just take it at face value and do what I can with it. There's going to be failure in that, but I'm trying to minimize that failure, minimize that risk, and that as few people get hurt moving forward as possible. And also that more people start to get forward. I've been going into people's broadcasts and trying to be supportive. I went into someone's broadcast. I actually got muted in somebody's broadcast. And it was somebody apparently that already had heard of me. And I was very surprised by that because I was super supportive. What it is revealing is that people are very controlling of one another and their relationships. They will bar you from being a part of their friend group because they want to control that other person. And that is an experience that I actually had years and years ago at a college. I had been talking to this really nice girl for a while, and she was in a very toxic friend group, and she was just a really nice girl. And whether or not she knew who to trust, I don't know. But I got barred. What I've also been learning is there's a lot of times where people will say like, hey, I want to be friends with you, but just my friends won't let me be. I don't know. I guess I don't, right? It's situation per situation. But I've had a lot of people in the past that have said to me, like, I can't be friends with you because I'm friends with so-and-so. And oftentimes it's just an excuse. But I can't judge every situation. What I can do is look at where I'm at right now and say that I'm doing my best. I'm trying my best. Stepping down with the pride that I have. The pride that I have is healthy. You don't have to understand me to know that. It's healthy pride. But I'm doing my best to step down from it to come to a point of communication with people who never liked me to begin with. Trying very, very, very hard to be supportive and to step outside of my own boundaries. But like I said, that's also going to require a little bit of welcoming. But I will say that if you mute me in your broadcast, don't expect me to come back. And if your moderator mutes me, then, I'll, like I send this girl a DM, message me, let me know, invite me back in. And I don't mean you have to publicly give me a round of applause. I just mean message me and say, hey, you're unmuted. But I'm not going to be sitting in someone's broadcast while I'm muted because I'm there to interact with you, not just to watch a show. If I want to watch something, I'm going to watch Yellowstone or I'm going to watch something on Netflix. I'm not going to sit and watch your life because I don't expect you to watch mine. If you're here with me, I'm expecting you to want to talk to me the way I want to talk to you. It's how I run my broadcast. So I still do a lot of the talking, but my goal has always been communication, and I'm working on getting better at that. You can chat with me in the chat, but to have the freedom to speak in my broadcast is something that's been very heavily abused. People have come to the point of being in my real life and abusing my life and saying that it's because of my broadcast or something. And I can't have that right now. I have to be very selective on who I speak to, especially how I speak to them. I never thought people would put my actual life at risk over it, just over a job. But they have, and they aren't stopping. So I'm not naming. This is my point. It's Jeff. It's not gossip. Guys, this is something where you need to grow up and you don't like it. I don't care if you're 30 or 40 or 50. You are in lack of recognition of how this affects my personal life. You saw it. Well, I'm letting you know that's a big piece of how that happened to me. is that I chose to let regular people into my professional life, and I let those lines get blurred. This is my professional life. I care about you on a personal level. And so if I get an opportunity to come into your broadcast, it's with the goal of being able to collaborate or share. And on a personal level, I have become much more careful and distant. And I'm not sociopathic. I have my own real life relationships, but my relationship with you and with you guys is going to have to be a little more careful. And I know that's common sense to you. It wasn't common sense to me. I didn't know that people would go this far. I expected better of people. That's how I am. It's just common sense to treat each other well. I never expected people to try and destroy my life over money and then claim it however else they choose. But like I said, the future will tell whether or not I got scammed. I will tell you, if nothing happens to me at all, that is the only proof that you will have that I was not scammed. If people try to take me to jail, it's a scam. If people try to take me to court for money, it's a scam. I was scammed. You mark my words right now. And if that does happen, do your research, do your due diligence. There's a lot of people that don't ask me any questions about it, and they just wait for me to spill information that has to do with individual people. And I'm not going to do it. This isn't a gossip circle. This has affected my real life now, and it's come to a point of almost criminality, and I'm not letting it go any further. This is my life, and I let other people tell me how to live it. That's how I ended up making the choices I made. And most of the crazy things you've heard out of my mouth are things that have been put in my head. I'm also by those people. And those people are some of you. And I'm also coming to see there are a lot of ways that I've been talking that sound nuts, that you guys think that I just cook these things up myself. If you were party to any of the personal one-on-one conversations that I've had over the past couple of years, these are ideas that were put in my head. And when I say put in my head, I don't mean put in my head. I mean, I trusted someone. They sold themselves very, very well on being an insider. This one's an insider. That one's an insider. This one's an insider. And they fooled me. And they quite literally created an entire world around me that I thought was real. And it was entirely fabricated. And whether it was on purpose or on accident, I think everyone bought into it because they wanted to believe it. And no offense, but we all got duped. Don't look at me as the fall guy, because the fall guy never wins anyway. If you notice, whenever you try to play the fall guy, it's pretty hard to win, if anyone gets that video game reference. But let's just move forward with it, because I'm not going to let my life go down when I've tried to be the best person I can be, and I've tried to be here for people, and I get taken advantage of and treated like I'm dumb. And then, I was looking someone up today who I was very close in contact with, and they had claimed to be making all this money, and they were so special and big and everything. And they may be, and I don't know, but I Googled them, and I for the first time. And this is the funny thing, guys, is it was the people who are closest to me, that I did not look into, probably because I didn't want to know. And when I looked into them, they might have just lied to my face, and I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't even know the difference. And I thought twice about it. I thought a third time about it, I guess you might say. And I thought to myself, the people that I've had personal relationships with, now these people are master manipulators, and then calling me master manipulators. They're twice my age. And I have people from my personal life who are believing them over me because of age, and then believing that I'm smarter, and because why? It is a fear-based mindset, okay? And this is common, people know this. And it seems like so unrealistic, but people will believe something that they can be afraid of sooner than they'll believe something they can hope in, because in our mindset, usually people are more driven to protect themselves from harm as opposed to go out and get something they want. It's a fear-based as opposed to a hope-based mindset. And I learned that over these past couple of years. And it was taught to me on accident through a lot of people who tried to manipulate. And at this point, I know they tried to manipulate me, and they pretty successfully manipulated me. What I don't know are their intentions. What I don't know is, why did they do it? And did they do it on purpose? Because it's really, really, really hard to believe that they did. It's really hard to believe that this is something that just happened. But with the negligence that I've experienced throughout my lifetime, it might just be believable that they were all that stupid, and they really just thought poorly of me from the beginning and never believed me. And that's the disgusting part, is that if people didn't believe me from the start and they thought, oh, we're going to catch this guy, what they don't know, things that I've confessed to them, those were the lies. I'm the guy that tells the truth, but I've had moments of weakness where I've confessed to things that I haven't done because I wanted to win their favor, because I was embarrassed and I wanted a friend. And I've confessed to things that I've never done. And what I found out is there's a lot of people in my life so far who have pressed me and prodded me and tried to, quote unquote, find the truth because they're trying to figure me out, when all they had to do was take me at face value. And then when I get to a point where I feel insecure and embarrassed, I would confess to something or agree with something that isn't me and it isn't the truth and it's not something I've even done. And they think that they got their answer and they think they have it figured out. And as I sit here, I'm starting to believe I'm not the only one who doesn't know up from down. But when it all started, I did know up from down. I did. And I may not have made choices that make me a criminal, but I've trusted people that maybe I shouldn't have trusted. I am still struggling with the idea that it is wrong to trust people first. I believe in a world where people do have the opportunity to put their best foot forward and trust first. And yes, it is almost an impossible world to believe in. But with the resources at hand and the lives that we have, it's not impossible. Because as I sit here, it is my trust in others and that continual forgiveness and gratitude is the reason that I've come out on the other side sane. I'm letting go of these things that have come to my mind. I'm letting go of these things that were put in my mind. I'm letting go of all of that big mumbo jumbo. And that's something that is near impossible, right? As I sit here, it sounds impossible. I am doing it. It mostly has to do with a choice to trust, let go, forgive, and move on. But part of moving on is hashing out the past. And I'm willing to put myself at risk and share all of it with you before I move on. And that's only causing further suspicion for some people who just cannot get over their paranoia, but hopefully trust for people who have a head on their shoulders. And so as we sort through this, when it all comes to pass, I'm going to find out who the good guys were and who the bad guys were. It's also, I don't think I'm ever really going to know for sure, but I'm going to sleep better at night, not worried that. All I have to say is, if I was lied to this bad, it's cause for concern. Okay? I have been lied to pretty bad by some people. And to be lied to that bad makes me ask questions like, well, if they have to lie to me that much and manipulate me that much, are they that insecure or are they hiding more? Are they hiding more or are they just insecure? And I'm not a very insecure person, which is why it's very hard for me to believe that I've been lied to mostly out of insecurity. That's like mind-blowing to me. How could that be that people are that insecure that they would lie to me and manipulate me for years, whether it's for money or ego or dominance? So either way, as I sit here, I know I've been lied to by pretty much everyone in my life so far. And I've done my best to keep to the truth. And the only time that I haven't been is trying to win favor from others, but not with the sake of manipulation, but for the sake of fitting in or belonging. It's never been for an agenda other than to, not be alone. And as I become comfortable with being alone, it's, like I said, a lot of that is clearing up for me, but it's not completely clearing up because there's so much that I don't have, And I just wish I did, but I don't want it bad enough to ruin my life, but I do want it bad enough if it means that it's going to clear things up of who is that way and who isn't, because I don't like leaving people behind. It's not the way I do things, but I'm coming to a point where I'm willing to, but I've also, and I know I'm like not even answering your comments. Let me catch up. These are my feelings. They're important. And I have a feeling there's a lot of people in this broadcast that want to hear what I'm saying right now. And now they're going to say they're not because it's that defiant attitude. Whatever he says, let's do the opposite. Like you didn't get along with your parents or whatever the story. But let me finish. I see how just leaving people behind breaks people, how just leaving people behind, it does more damage to the person leaving people behind than it does the person left behind, usually. And they usually don't see it. I've had firsthand experience with people who have left people behind so much that they've lost themselves, and they may have success and security, but they're very insecure and they're very sold on their own belief system. And I have lived this life, for the most part, running towards looking for my wife. And I thought I was running away from something because others told me that. And I knew in the beginning I wasn't. And when I first started off, I was in pursuit of a woman that I thought I was in love with, but I had just been drug along. And now, I have my wife and I'm in love, and it's great. And I'm not seeking out much else. But I also see that I have a lot of mess to clean up, which is why you see me motivated and working here and putting in here and getting over it. It has a lot more to do with paying off my debts than wanting more. But as usual, guys, I'm learning that, like you've told me, you can't please everybody. And the harder I work, the more I take it forward. There's going to be more and more people that doubt. And I don't need that drama. And I have plenty of it surrounding me already. A lot of people who are helping you find me through a filter of their own choosing. And that could be considered a bad thing. Or as I sit here, I'll say is that it's not a good thing because I don't wish harm upon people. But the enemy becomes my footstool, and they are accidentally weeding out people who are not smart enough to be able to wrap their head around the possibility that I'm telling the truth. That people that may not have the integrity either, people that would rather popularity bias over the truth. I only want people in my circle that can pick through the details and see the look on my face and say, well, real knows real, per se. And so hopefully that goes into that area and it works for you. Do I consider myself famous? Well, define fame. Real life fame? No. Define fame. This is fabricated. Everything that you've ever seen from me, if you and I haven't met in person, is magnified. It's not real. It's not just real life as it is. It's some sort of illusion, it's built up. Whereas if you meet me in person, it's one-on-one conversation. Whereas even though there's 50 people in this room, what I've realized, what I've come to learn is that there might be 50 people in the room, but really it's just me sitting here talking to a screen, right? But I am talking to you guys, yet at the same time, it would be much, much different if there were 50 people sitting in his room. God forbid the 50 people that are in this room were sitting in this room, right? We want the healthy, rational people that aren't going to be in my house screaming at me and throwing things and then telling me that I'm sick. So, how will you improve what may be wrong with your life? I would need a much more specific question to be able to answer that. It's very, very broad. Any advice for your younger self? Walk away, make your money, and show your family that you can do what they can do, because that's going to be the only translative factor for them. I wanted to believe that the people I care about would believe in me any other way than just through work. I wanted to believe that there's people in this world that I didn't want to believe there's people in this world who can't grasp the idea that there is more than just work to life. And even so much that I sold into the idea that work is life. And to the point now I don't even have work, right? This is a passion for me. No matter what amount of money I make, social media has become my job, but people are my passion. And there's a million people that'll tell you that, oh, people are my passion. All right. Well, people are my passion to the point where I literally let one of those people live with me. Not about the money. Don't know how hard I have to sell it, but you're never going to find out, because now I'm married and the bills are paid either way. Because you needed to find out so bad, now you're never really going to know. That's how it is. There won't come a day where I put money over my own health. It'll never come. But God will always make sure my bills get paid as long as the bad guys are trying to put me down. And I don't have shame in how those bills are paid. Not when it's the right thing. Why are people always attacking me? I think the answer is variant depending on who you're asking. You have to ask the people attacking me why they're attacking me. Asking me, I can't give you. I could sit here and write a book. I could give you a dictionary of 40,000 million definitions of why it's okay to attack another human being. Well, define legally married. Are we talking on a global basis? Or are we just talking about in America? Just because, I live in America, my wife and I have our definition of marriage, and anyone stepping into that is just proving their lack of transparency. It's domineering and inappropriate. I don't find any of it funny. Nope. I'm just going to move on from that comment. All right. So also, by the way, start reading my bio. Bio is very informative. How have I positively changed? Have you seen my old videos? Also a question I don't have to answer. Who am I willing to listen to? There's the irony. People that I don't listen to, I don't answer to. So I won't be answering that question. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not disrespect to you. It's that I don't owe you that answer, and I hope you respect that. I don't owe you that answer, and it's based on where you're at. We're based on your comments. I have a minimal standpoint on how you see the situation, and I have the ability to evaluate that no matter what answer I give you, at least at this point in time, you're asking for an answer that has to do with a level of trust that you have already broken. Guys, I still do give people trust right when I see them, right when I meet them. But I've also learned to very quickly evaluate whether or not they've broken it already. And when someone comes in immediately and I don't know them, I haven't heard from them, I've never seen their face before. I treat this very much like real life, as you guys know. I've always said that. So if you walk up to me in real life and the first thing you have to say to me before even hello, my name is, how's your girlfriend? Or, I don't even know you yet. It's creepy and it's very uncomfortable. And I don't welcome that stuff. I'm not, people will say, hey, you're not popular. You're not a celebrity. But then they'll walk up to me and talk to me the way that you would talk to a celebrity. Like just straight up. Hey, tell me about your girlfriend. Like paparazzi type attitude. Don't come up to me and just say whatever you want and think that I'm going to treat you like a friend. Same goes to you, right? If I came into your broadcast and I said, how's your boyfriend doing? And I've never even talked to you before. It's not appropriate. I'm giving you equal treatment and benefit of the doubt of, hey, we're on the same level. This is me being respectful, not disrespectful. It would be disrespectful for me to just start answering your questions before we even know each other. Because it would be letting you on that lower level. Like, oh yeah, you're just here for information. Let me just talk down to you. I won't do that. I'll say, let's find a middle ground. Let's find a common ground. And then we can have that conversation. What are my talents? Everyone else is deciding for me. So I don't like talking about that stuff. Yellowstone wasn't that good this year. I haven't watched it yet. I saw like one episode and I got enthralled. I was like, whoa, that's dramatic. And you guys have definitely taught me to value the dramatics when it comes to entertainment. So I've begun to like dramas, which is something I've never liked before. What do I mean by professional? I'm already so far moved on from that. How far behind am I? 100 and some comments. Okay, so we're going to jump up to the front. I'm going to keep up as best as I can. Okay. Make sure to read my bio before you comment, guys. What other shows do I watch? I haven't even watched Yellowstone yet. I'm going to be very encapsulated by my job here, and just doing social media and my relationship. Those are pretty much my main priorities. until, like I said, my real life friendships and my job are pretty much all I have until my paycheck is back where it's supposed to be. So for now, I'm pretty focused. I don't have a lot of time for entertainment, but as soon as I have just a regular, like I said, just enough to pay the bills and then a little in the bank to make sure, God forbid something happens, then I'll probably make some time to be able to watch shows and stuff. And I do, like I said, I actually, ironically, is months and months ago, when I had a roommate, even though it was a spooky time, it really was nice to sit back and share some certain moments that were cool, some shows that were cool to watch. There was some culture shared, and I did learn a lot from that. So there are certain pieces, and this can be hard, guys, especially, that when you have traumatic experiences, it can be very difficult to reintroduce different experiences you had during that trauma. I'm doing my best to try and not only move on from it, but really conquer my trauma by reintroducing parts of my life that were a part of my life then that were healthy for me or were good. Not let my life and my experiences be ruined forever just because someone tried to dominate my life. And when they couldn't dominate my life sexually, dominate my life financially, take over my identity, essentially. Very psychopathic behavior, stuff that I had been lied to blatantly to my face for 3 years. And let me mark that, is the person that lived with us lied to my face for 3 years. And when I say lie, I mean almost not a lick of truth. And then moved in. And I don't even know if I was told the truth once they moved in. I don't even know. All I know is 99% of what I was told wasn't true. And then it was like just this spillage of everything. And then I was expected, with everything on my back, to, in the snap of a finger, be able to just handle, hey, I lied to you for 3 years. Now be my best friend. And I don't know up from down. I don't know what the truth was, but I didn't get it. And it's quite insane to just lie to someone nonstop for the entirety of your relationship, and then just expect that person to be able to swallow it and move on. And I use the word swallow it without, like, I could puke over this. It's like I said, I'm not a homophobe. I am straight up straight, and I was lied to about, and time again, guys, I asked and I asked and I asked and I asked and I asked. And I'll say to you guys is, whatever your orientation is, I support you. I'm not against you, and I love you. What I will say is that if you lie to me about that for 3 straight years and then move into my bedroom, excuse me for being a little uncomfortable, having never even had close relationships for the most part with anyone who is of a different sexual orientation. It wasn't culture shock. It was trauma and just domination. And, it's possible that they were aware that I couldn't handle it and that I would snap, just to make me look homophobic. But I'm not. I don't know how else to say it. There is no other way to say it. But like I said, for the way that it went, I'm sitting here perplexed and trying to convince myself that it wasn't a plan, trying to convince myself that it was not a calculated attack on my life for the past couple of years. But now looking at some of the people that have been involved and how calculated they are in their lives, it is hard to believe that it was an accident. But I'm hoping that that's the truth, and then I can just move on, because this has been traumatic for everyone. And while people feel that maybe they got what they wanted and gave the audience what they wanted, proof that I'm the bad guy, I'm not the bad guy. And the things you've seen from me were due to, you tell me one person on the regular planet, one regular non-Superman human being that could have handled what I had to handle. You don't even know what I was handling. And I think most of you think I was a lot more coherent than I was. I was just trying to keep my head in my brain in my head, for how bad I was messed with. So my brain is back in my head. I'm getting back on track. It's really healthy. And think of this too, is even with all of this, there were also people constantly pervading my personal life, making false calls to the police to get them knocking on the door for a health check. Anything it took just to rile me up and keep me from being able to be calm. And that is not only sabotage, but it's a crime. And I received a full-on attack from thousands of people for years. And it's not an accident. It's not a joke. And most of you know that it's not made up. And sitting back and calling it fake is the best way to make sure that I keep chasing it. And I do get what I want in life. You might not think so, but I'm the one who actually gets what they want. I don't quit until I get what I want. And if you're going to sit back and call me crazy, I'm going to pursue this until everyone involved gets screwed. And I'm not that guy. So I say everyone lets it go, and everyone tells everyone else to let it go. Because the longer you try to prove to me that popularity bias can smother a voice, it's not nearly as true as you might think. It takes a consented effort to make someone disappear and then no one notice. And it's a much bigger effort than you surmise. And I'm going to let you know, for the people who did it to me, you're not on the right team. You had me pegged poorly the whole time. I'm the guy that's on your team. And you were so busy trying to convince yourself and expose me. You didn't get what you want. You're still not going to, because what you're asking for isn't even what you want. You never wanted that to begin with. You wanted it to be that I was the good guy in this and that, but you also wanted me to do it your way. And I'm disappointed in a lot of you for choosing to sabotage me and behave the way that you did, like animals, not even like humans. You acted like animals, like rabid animals, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm ashamed of the choices that I made, but I was pressured by thousands and put in a box in a corner and shaken up. And that's very different than being sitting home watching on the other side of the screen and laughing. If any of you laughed over the past 3.5 years, even up until now, any of you that have even a slight chuckle over what happened to me or the things that I've done, I recommend getting emotionally evaluated by a doctor, because it was some messed up stuff and there's nothing to laugh about. There were some good times, there were some bad times, but when the majority of it was just me being harassed and tortured, and the harder I try to keep my nose clean and my head on my shoulders and positive and happy and having a good time and entertaining people, that's the, what I received in return. You're asking me to let go of something, and after you did it to me, it was like so many of you did it to me that are like even just watching now, and I know you're watching. But I'm also learning that those people don't want me to let it go. They don't really want me to let it go. They want to tell me to let it go, but then really they enjoy when I talk about it because it feels like a victory for a narcissist. I read today as well on Twitter, there was a quote, and it was from a woman who spoke about, she spoke about the freedom of letting go, and how vying for the morality of your oppressors has never worked in all of human history. That vying to the morality of your oppressors does not alleviate the pressure. And I see that now. I see that the more that I vie to the bad guys and say, hey, well, you don't know what you're doing, the more they're going to do it. And I know that's so simple for you guys, but I guess I was in denial that there are people in this world that have completely lost themselves and find their identity in something other than their own human person. That when they look in the mirror, they quite literally don't know they're not there when they look. Whereas when I look in this camera, I know I'm looking at myself, and I'm not proud of some of the things I've seen, but at least I knew it was me, and that grants me an opportunity to own up and get better quickly. And that's something that I do wish for everyone, but I'm seeing I can't do it for you. So for those of you that have your head on your shoulders, don't doubt me when I tell you that I was thrown into the abyss. I didn't jump myself. And also that I had to climb my own way out. And anyone who wants to take credit for me making it back here doesn't have the right. And anyone that wants to hop on board and help heal things is also not going to get more credit than where credit is due. If you're someone who has hurt me and now you're going to give me another shot, quote unquote, give me a shot, don't expect to get a pat on the back or to get extra credit from me just for siding with me, because I don't have it for you. Like I said, you helped take me down. I'm not interested in giving you extra credit for giving me a hand back to where you pushed me off. So let's find a way to side together. Thank you for shooting the hearts. Hopefully it's to remind me to get back on track. And now I am going to do that. I'm doing that. So thank you. I'm hoping that what you did see from me, even though it was poor behavior, I'm hoping that it taught you that I'm human, and on top of that, not only that I'm human, but also that there is such thing as pushing someone too far, and I have been pushed way too far. It doesn't make me a victim. I'm not a victim, but I'm not an aggressor either. I'm a regular guy, and I'm kind of grateful you guys found out. I'm just hoping it doesn't cost my future. I can help you. You can be my manager. I bet I could be. Hot chocolate or chocolate milk? I like chocolate milk. I find hot chocolate to be a bit too sugary. What about you? Oh, no waterworks. Moving on. What's your favorite TV show, James? Do you remember what was the question? My favorite TV show so far, for me, it's attention span. I base whatever my favorite TV show is on the attention span I have of the show. I don't want to say that I know what my favorite TV show is yet, because I haven't fully been myself in my life just yet. It ranges, so I don't really have an answer for you yet. I know that may seem like, whoa, how do you not know? I know that I've had a lot of fear-based mindsets, and like I've had shows that I really like that as I come to terms with where my life is, I'm like, whoa, how did I ever like that? So there's nothing wrong with them, but like I said, I don't have that answer right now. Skittles or M&Ms? M&Ms every day. I can't do Skittles. I don't know how people do Skittles. I don't have anything against Skittles. I just can't do them. Like just chewing on them. I can't do it. Why are you wearing an LG hat? Because it was cheap. And I want a hat because my haircut isn't a haircut yet. Strawberry milk. Yes. Yes. I love strawberry milk. Most people don't think of strawberry milk. Growing up, we called it pink milk. Strawberry milk. Guys, please, before you make a negative comment, do read my bio and then tweet out the Periscope help, because I would love to have a permanent mute button. Because that permanent mute button probably would have saved me years of trouble. Years of it. Years of it. Pineapple on pizza, I can do it. I don't dig it, but I can do it. Do you like pineapples on pizza, Jayhawk? And guys, playing around with the negativity is also something that's going to get you muted. I've had enough negativity in my life for one full lifetime. I've had enough negativity for I don't even know how long. I don't have the ability to tell you. I don't even know. I've had too much. Too much for me. I can be your bodyguard. Oh, I'm up for having a bodyguard. Sounds good to me. Definitely, I'll sleep better at night. What did you decide to do with your hair? Make a decision yet? I can't really make a decision until it grows out more. I'm going to let it grow out a bit more. My favorite color, I don't even have one. It depends on what I'm looking at. When it comes to a car, it could depend on the model of the car. I like all different colors. That's not indecision, guys. It's that I appreciate things. I appreciate all different kind of stuff. If I were to have a specific color that I like and choose, I'd be lying to you, because I really do like all different sorts of things and colors. And I'm a very, very grateful person, you might call me. It's grateful. I like all different stuff. You look really nice. Thank you, Chrissy. Cool. What did I get scammed with? I don't know yet. I don't actually know. Maybe nothing. Like I said, it's possible it was just that much chaos. In a lot of ways, that would be the preferable option, but it would also be the one where I have to learn to cope the most. So I guess we'll find out in time. Find out in time. Guys, read the bio. Read the bio, read the bio. I can't stress that enough. Tell us about your Christian mission trips. What do you want to know? Be specific. I don't want to tell just stories. I used to volunteer with Habitat for Humanity every summer. That was a great experience. I did that for like 7 years. I loved it. No matter where I've been at in my life, guys, I've always been the outcast, and people have always been questionable to me. And I still to this day have not figured out why people are so insecure and doubtful of my integrity. And even as I don't let go of my integrity, people question it even more. And when I was younger, I thought people were just bullying me and mean. And I'm starting to see that that there was some socio-cultural quota or standard that I just didn't meet. And I didn't even know I was doing it. I was just like doing what I wanted to do. I talked to this person, hang out with I didn't know it was a crime. I did not know it was punishable by death to talk to the wrong person. But finding out that might be true. That me being friends with whatever, just whatever. Like, it's literally not my problem. I'm just going to live my life, and I'll make enough money that anybody who tells me I can't be friends with somebody, they can screw off. That's it for me. I'm not going to be told how to live just because of a socio-cultural norm. I'm above that. And I'm hoping a lot of you are above that too, that you're just friends with whoever you want. I've also learned, though, that living my life in the public, that I do have to curb that to a degree. And I know you're probably thinking, what life in the public? Well, I've had to restart a bajillion times because I kept seeing things that just, they weren't good enough for my life. And I couldn't figure out what the problem was, but I would block and delete, block and delete, block and delete, block and delete. And I'm glad I did it. And even though I'm being framed as a crazy person, I'm not necessarily disappointed that I was treated this way, because there's been a lot more benefit to it than negative, at least at this point. I know some of it is time sensitive, so I might find out later that I was wrong, but I've been wrong a lot before. Wouldn't be first, won't be last. Hello. It's not a matter of giving up easy. It's a matter of I won't be giving up. So that's that. I moved the position of the bed so that we can pop it into a couch. If you're in the kitchen or whatnot, we could sit and talk. Also, whenever we put the TV over here, then we could just be looking both ways however we want. And I also put this over here just so I'm not like right below the noise. So yeah, and for any of you out there who think I am paranoid when I'm so private, it's not paranoia, guys, because if you do scrounge the internet for the creeps, like, there are people who are hyper obsessed with my life. We're talking about people who are so meticulously obsessed with me, and I can't even get a restraining order on them, that they will like look for the layout of my home. Like, even just, I showed that little bit of my door. Not even kidding. I showed that little bit of my door. There are people who are now going to go on Google and look like meticulously wherever my location is, wherever they look into my YouTube videos. There's location tags on the YouTube videos. Even if I spoof my location, there's some sort of something on it. They will go and use that to try and find where I am, just to harass the police and like make content about me and continue to siphon my life and literally try to kill me. And these are people that the police won't do anything about. I've gone to them over and over again, and they call me crazy and just say, well, we don't have time for that. And there's nothing I can do because no one will do anything. And it had gotten so bad that and they did this on purpose, is that the police, and yes, this part is on purpose, this isn't paranoia, is that people they made it so bad that if a typical police department were to investigate it or this or that them doing anything about it may make them look bad. It may do something negative to their department, and then getting me into a position where I did something really bad and then getting it all on camera and getting me to freaking do it for them has created a position where, you know, any police or investigative force that would be in my favor, you know, they would paint it and say, hey, look, at the police are defending an abuser. And so such is life. And then the screenshots come and the freaks come out of the woodwork, and then you guys will tell me that I'm making it up. But it's pretty clear that I'm not, because the second I talk about it, they're trying to suppress me and oppress me. And it's all for the sake of them wishing they could be me. And they're just not, and they never will be. But I'm trying to fight very hard to be myself enough that hopefully they'll want to be themselves instead of trying so hard to be me and never giving up on that. I just never thought any human being could ever be so obsessed with me. And even as they are, I struggle believing that could be possible. Even if I was currently famous, as it were, I would still struggle with that belief of how could someone want to be me, like want to consume my life. I struggle with that thought because to me, it's absolutely insane. I might not be all that much, but I like me. Well, that's the issue, guys, is I see it. I get it. You think I'm nuts. That's fine. But I mean, yes, these people who are there are certain people who are hyper obsessed with my life like that. And they do believe in that kind of stuff. They're the people who believe in human sacrifice. They believe that they can consume another human life. And it means that they're going to, like, you know, some of you have heard of Bohemian Grove. Some of you have heard of these Epstein's Island and all that. Those are the kind of people that found their way into my personal life. And I can't figure out how to get them out. You know, they're just like, they're trying to ream me in the butt, literally. And excuse me for being scared of psychopaths, but it's a little spooky. And after seeing what they were able to do to my brain, I never thought that anyone had that much free time. I didn't think that people that are that intelligent are that lazy and crazy. I thought that they would be doing something with their lives other than trying to do me in. I thought people had better things to do. And because they told me that too, they say, hey, we have better things to do than to bother with you. Well, clearly you don't. Clearly you don't have anything better to do than to mess with me. So point proven, just a little later than I'd like to. I could have just accepted it at the beginning. Please read my bio before you make negative comments. And also realize, guys, the more that you side with people that have to do with anything negative about me, it is about me, it is lies, 90% of it. And when you run with that, you're destroying your own life and you don't even know it. You definitely have, I'm really hoping that you have no idea who you're acknowledging, the crazy people that you are acknowledging. I'm hoping you don't know. Alex Jones exposed Bohemian Grove years ago. Yeah, and it was years ago that I discovered it. And as I said, I'm letting go of the idea that this was pre-planned. I'm letting go of the idea that I was let off into a crazy place. But the timing is just too darn perfect. But like I said, it's more than likely just happenstance. And part of me also believes that the people who are taking the screenshots care about me because they can relate to me very closely. And guys, I know how nuts I sound, but I know who's taking the screenshots. It's like 2 or 3 or 4 people. And I do know who it is. And those people, they do care about me very much. And they might be off their rocker, but I know integrity when I see it. I know deep down that the people that hurt me, they have good intentions for me. I know they do. And they're so scared for me that they're willing to manipulate me that much. And I know that might sound out of your grasp. I don't know if it does or not. But when you're in my shoes and you've met these people, there is some really scary stuff out there in this world, stuff that people think isn't even real. And it is real. It's not conspiracy, and it's not something I can get involved with. You don't have to worry about me going down that road. And I'll say that to even my screenshotters, is that if you have negative intentions or positive intentions for me, no offense, but it's my life and it's my choices. And I'm not going to have a satanic orgy. It's not something that's in the cards for me. You know, no offense, but it's not something I would consider. And regardless of what you might think of me, it's a little crazy. So let's keep in the sane zone and realize that sometimes when I'm talking crazy, it's because I'm talking to crazy people. Okay? And just because they're crazy doesn't mean they're bad. Some people have good intentions and they see things that you might not, and they want the best for me. And there's a lot of people looking out for me, and I have officially gone over the deep end for probably most of you, but you're not in my shoes. Not in my shoes. And my shoes are pretty big, and there's a lot of people who try to step into them all at once, and you don't want them. So step out. They're smelly, and they're dirty, and they're old, and I need a new pair. So step out of them so I can get rid of them. No, I mentioned Epstein Island because there is traffic coming to my YouTube channel from suggested videos that have to do with some of the most bizarre stuff. And it's proof of the kind of people that are watching me and engaging with me. Some people are like really off the rocker, and they're watching videos about Epstein Island. They're watching videos about satanic cults. And I'm not even that kind of guy. I'm not even the kind of guy you follow for that kind of stuff. You know, but I think that just comes with the territory of the amount of viewership I'm getting. Because as people give me crap about it, some of my broadcasts, they'll have anywhere from 60 to 150 people in them. And that's the kind of viewership on Periscope that people with 1 million followers on Twitter are getting, 150 in a broadcast. And before you mark me as a liar, go look it up. The amount of people that I get live is very similar to that of people who have 1 million or 2 or 3 million subs or 3 million followers on Twitter. Just go look around. You'll find it for yourself. Like I said, I've had to reinvent myself over and over again because I started this in a very, very, very vulnerable position, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. So I've had to fight very hard just to keep my head above water. And now that I'm not falling back and deleting anything and doing my best to protect my privacy, I'm hoping it's enough to get my footing and go back to normal. Guys, please read the bio. Make sure you read the bio. Guys, the stuff I'm talking about isn't my identity. This is something that it seems to me, at least, that the most average people cannot comprehend, is that what someone talks about is not who they are. Like, I'm having a conversation about stuff that has to do with other people because they've talked to me about it. It's not stuff that has to do with my life. And you're waiting for me to just share my life while you don't seem to have all that much interest in it, just because there's certain people that watch my life that you don't accept. And while I'm being called racist and whatever other name, I'm the one being open enough to have a conversation about the people who are the most outcasted in society. Let me ask you, how the hell does someone get to a point that Epstein Island even exists? Those are some, just, they need hugs, okay? You give your kid a hug, maybe they don't become Hitler. Just start hugging your kids and stop telling me that Hitler's my fault, and then we just don't talk about it. Like, it has to be talked about and worked through. Nobody reads bios anymore. Well, they better start. What are my plans for fall and winter? They have to do with my life. And you'll either watch and find out, or if people can't stop being creepy, then I will just sit here and talk about nothing every day and just keep growing anyway. But I would love to share my life with you. But people just love spinning themselves in circles and saying I'm doing it to them, or thinking they're spinning me in circles. And they're not anymore, because it's just a job now. And I care about you, but Everybody else wants to be me. So they'll keep trying and I'll keep doing my thing. No, I left that there. You could do whatever you want with it. You can set it up however you please. That's why. Oh, can you wash all of that? Thank you. All right. I'm thinking not so much people actually hate you. What does integrity look like? I'm not the definition of integrity. I couldn't tell you. People are looking for their Jesus Christ, and I'm not him. Fruit snacks or fruit roll-up? Oh, fruit roll-up any day. And thank you for being normal. You are a breath of fresh air. Really, honestly, I gotta give it to you. You are a breath of fresh air. What's your go-to for news? What websites do you read regularly? I am very, very scrutinous when it comes to reading anything. You may call me a humanist, but for the most part, I don't go to news outlets for news. I will look for people who are on the outskirts, but their head's not off their shoulders. So, for example, I've had a conversation here about one-sided conversation. I've ranted about some rather unique stuff, but I'm not all that unique. If you can tell, I'm actually pretty average. So I look for somebody like that who doesn't get lost in the crazy stuff and the drama, and they're like either COVID this, BLM that, blah, blah, blah. This is all important stuff. It really is. But I mean, for me to know about BLM, all I have to do is look out and say, yeah, there's racism. For me, I don't need news on that because the news and all these people are out there using it for their own agendas. And I don't want to get sold into the agenda. I legitimately care about equality. And I don't want to get scared by this story or that story. I want to say, okay, here's this person. I care about this human being. What happened to that person? Because the media also makes sure to sell this story and cover up that one. You guys may not know this, but there was a kid in the Midwest. There was a small child in the Midwest who was drowned by a group of white kids, and nobody even knows about it. I'm kidding you not. And it happened like 2 hours away from Minneapolis. Was it Minneapolis? Wherever the riot started. It literally happened right outside of it. Nobody knows about it. Not a soul. Nope. So for me, that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. I try not to get involved on that level because it is out of my depth. And while people call that weakness, that's just humility to admit that I don't have the power to shift the media. But there are a lot of people in media who will tell you that, just like in voting, is that you're small, but your voice matters. Yes, if there's millions and millions of us, but when the platforms themselves and news outlets themselves don't want you to know about it, it's pretty clear in the algorithm. You guys could even tell it's pretty clear people don't want you to know. And me speaking is just going to get me silenced more. And I've learned my lesson on that. And if people want to paint that to say that makes me a coward, paint all you need to. That's fine. I'd rather be a coward with my head on my shoulders and food in my belly and a paycheck than having my head chopped off. But you keep telling me how I need to be your advocate while you're not doing anything either. You get what I'm saying? So I'm doing my part. I'm making sure to have conversations in the background in private, and I'm making sure to advocate in ways that are healthy and productive and do not create a workaround, because I also don't need that drama. But I'm doing my best to be an advocate in whatever ways I can, which right now, due to the strangleholds that are around my neck, there's only so much I can do. But because if I'm going to do anything, people say I have to do it in a way that serves all of their agendas, right? I have to serve the big agendas. God forbid it's just about the people. And I don't understand enough. I don't know enough. And people like to kick me out of the club instead of clue me in. They're say, just figure it out yourself. And if you can't, too bad. So I guess I'm going to have to just keep tripping over myself until I get there. And I will. But a lot more people are going to suffer social issues from me getting forward and then blaming me for them not educating me on a subject and then me speaking out in a way that's not healthy for the public. Guys, that's called elitism. As people fight against elitism, that is elitism in itself. Just saying. I've never screenshot. Oh, I'm not accusing you. Like I said, we're new to each other. It's not even that big of a deal. It's just 3 or 4 people that I know need attention the most. And it's really hard not to feed them because I know when I do feed them, it builds my platform that much quicker. Okay. It's a really hard temptation to fight. Giving them what they want, I grow super quick. It's really hard not to. But like I said, is feeding the monsters maybe not the best idea. Guys, make sure to read the bio. Kat says the new moon is tomorrow. Perfect time to set new intentions and release what no longer serves you. I seek to serve as opposed to be served. That's always been my goal. I'm starting to see that I've served the wrong people, and I've been there for the wrong people. I've been there for people who they have no qualms about destroying someone else for the sake of their own agendas. And I don't support that. What I do support is collective agendas with individualistic practices. So people that recognize their own individuality and who they are, and at the same time have no issues working together. That includes a lot of very difficult communication, but I have seen it, and I'm working on being able to do that myself. I struggle though, because like I said, when there are crimes involved, I struggle to understand why that's okay. And I'm not saying it is okay or isn't okay. I'm saying I'm the one that doesn't know. And that might lose my favor with the little ones, but I'm not looking to just please everyone. Just like you said, I'm looking to see where I'm supposed to be in my life. And if I don't litmus test that, there's no real way to find out. We are not yours. Oh my God. Why would you be? Dusty, welcome on. Okay. Do I wish I could redo my life? No, but I wish my parents would redo theirs. I wish I could go back a generation and tell my parents just to stop lying and cheating and stealing. I think that would have been fantastic. It definitely wouldn't be such a hard sell nowadays if my parents had made better choices, or their parents. Would I redo my life? So far, no. So far, no. And my goal is to keep it that way. I would redo choices I've made, but I would not redo my life. I would not just go back to the start. There are choices along the way that I would rehash, but I don't think, like I said, based on not only what I was born into, also the way that I was raised and my bloodline as well, and the choices that were made there. There was no real way for me to come into this world with a chance at all. I came in stumbling and fumbling and like the bull in a china shop, just from birth. What I'm trying to do is stop kicking and screaming and create some good, and not just try to fix what I break along the way. What is normal for me? Not this. No offense. My normal is very private to me, because I've learned in order to keep my status quo, and my normal includes not inviting creeps into my life. And I don't know that any of you are creeps or not. I don't know that. You don't know if I am or not, technically, right? But I have found that most people have no problem burying someone over their own insecurities. And so I can go to the grocery store and literally be paranoid, because I have seen the worst in people. Maybe you have too, maybe you haven't, but I have seen the worst in people. And yes, that makes me paranoid at the grocery store. And I'm getting over that. And I'm seeing that as long as I don't step into their atmosphere and disrupt their environment, then usually they don't have a problem with me. And I wasn't trying to disrupt anyone's environment. I was trying to build relationships. I did not know that that was kill worthy. I have learned my lesson. I am stepping down, stepping back, and hopefully don't decide to, whack me over the head with your frying pan. I'm hoping to just move on. Why are 3 people rescoping you? Because I'm awesome. and they love the views. Michael Jackson stuff, I don't get into that. That's another thing. When it comes to him, I still remember when he died. I can't even look at Janet Jackson's profile on Twitter. Like, I can't even look at it. It was, I don't know his story. I don't know his deal. All I know is that he is a human being that made amazing music and was very troubled from what I hear. But just seeing his face makes me very uneasy. I love his music, but him as a person, it makes me very uneasy. Is water wet? There's a question that I don't have the answer to. Am I going to walk America again and fight bears? You know what? Don't challenge me. I just might. The whole Epstein's, yeah, it's like discomfort level 10,000. Guys, I'm just willing to talk about the most uncomfortable things. It's not like I step off screen and have these conversations. I'm just willing to have them for people who clearly need them based on screenshot quota. Screenshot quota tells me how many people need to have that conversation. So people are so triggered by you. It's incredible. Thank you. I actually am beginning to take a little pride in it. Yes. I don't take pride in the poor choices I've made, but what you may not know is that people were triggered by me far before I ever made any mistakes that they're privy to. I mean, no joke, what you're seeing now is less than it was in 2017. Like, I popped on the camera and it was just like, let's each rip a part of this kid's body off and like take it home and cook it up for ourselves, and hopefully we'll get famous. So I'm just doing my best not to. I was one of the first people on this platform to like make it, and then I didn't make it all of a sudden. So there's a lot of people who see that I'm making it now, and they're like even more convinced that I am some sort of subhuman alien thing. And I'm the one that's not telling myself that, whereas there are creators out there who literally think they're aliens. I'm not one of them. And I think it is my ability to perplex people by staying normal, no matter what happens to me, that makes them think that I'm unhealthy. It is me being healthy that people are like, there's no way he's healthy. Like, he has to be a sociopath if he's healthy after all this. And I'm not. It's just, like I said, continuing to process what's happened and work through it. Average. That's right, Jeff. My ability to stay average is what people are blown away by the most. If you were to ask me, that's what I would say. Yeah, media blackout. I would love to see you outside of the social media platform to see your mannerisms. They're pretty the same. I'm just going like this. Like, I'm just slapping my knee, slapping my thigh. There's literally nothing about it. Most of the ways that I was mostly other people. People are struggling to believe that. I'm not different off screen than I am on. They've never believed that. They've never believed it. One person found out, two people found out, but they found out by trying to find out and poke and prod me, and so they didn't really find out anyway. I found fruit roll-ups that look like pizza slices, and you can add toppings at Walmart the other day. You are a winner. Guys, quit looking at me like I'm a loser. You should look at the winner over here. I would love to have some fruit roll-up pizza. I would actually love some real pizza. Okay. Hard conversation. We're going to save it for next broadcast. I have a topic for next. I had one for this one. I don't even remember what the name of this broadcast is. What was it? Walking from confusion, scammed. Yeah. Watch the beginning of the broadcast. I have suspicions that I've been scammed from the start, or that people just were suspicious of me from the start and they never really trusted me. But I don't really know. I don't know which. All I know is there was a lot of craziness, and if I can chalk it up to an accident, that's insanity. But such is life. What's with the dress shirt and the hat? My clothes are being washed, so I'm wearing this. And yes, guys, sometimes even the way I say things is just to get the trolls going, okay? Don't write me off. Don't judge me. You don't know me. but you can get to know me. Just realize I've faced like a ridiculous amount of insanity from people, and to write off this level of insanity, you have to like let go of everything. You have to just let it go. And like I said, I still have a lot of apologies to make to people who are sane, but I am learning to just let go of the people who are insane. And that's usually not based on our first experience or our second experience. Read my bio. Repetitious abuse deserves a block, and I need to just leave it that way. And until we have a permanent mute button, it'll stay that way, and other people will get to make broadcasts based on my broadcasts, whatever. I mean, they'll do that anyway. So I just have to be fine with it if I'm going to do Periscope. But that's what's with the shirt and the hat. Guys, I do get that you're poking fun, but you don't recognize you're feeding into really crazy, really, really, really unstable stuff and unstable people. It's not good. Who invited me here? What is this? Well, I am not a what. I'm Jimmy. What's your name? Hi, Lady Seahawk. How are you? You are someone who's been moderately nice to me until you saw me go places that you couldn't imagine. You've always been moderately nice to me. I appreciate that. Am I going to get lashed at if I follow you? What choices would you change? Well, just surmise any choices that you would imagine should be changed, and those are probably the choices that I would change. Any choices that you think should have been changed based on the average person, that's probably what I would have changed. But at this point, with the amount of screenshots and the way people have treated me, I have a vendetta. I'm not going to do the wrong thing to get my way, but now I do actually have an ability to get my way. And so I'm just going to do that. And whereas I would probably, if I went back, I probably would have just gotten a day job in an apartment. You want to hear it? There it is. There it is. I was happy in my car and all that, but to take on social media, I probably would have gone and done it the regular way just to keep people out of my business, just to keep people from being this insane, because I didn't think people would ever be this crazy. So probably would have just done it the regular way. It doesn't mean they're right. They're not right. I still won. That's how it is. Like I look at how many people are broadcasting about me and creating viewership for me and building my platform for me, like literally doing the work for me, and proving to me that I never had to go get a regular paycheck. They're literally proving me right as they try to rile me up. So I just run with it at this point. I'm not proud of the decisions I've made, but it also proves that when we spend time trying to avoid something, sometimes we end up doing something much worse. So for me, I'm not avoiding anything anymore. I'm proving the point that was always true. I just didn't. The people that told me, and the people that I trusted and people that I looked up to that told me that I didn't have to have a 9-to-5. Pretty much every single one of them had a massive amount of controversy surrounding their name. Maybe I should have, pieced that one together. Probably could have pieced that one together. Didn't though. And so now here I am. Favorite fast food. Oh my God. Everybody knows it's Wendy's. Wendy's number 13 Asiago Chicken Ranch Club. Oh my God. I cannot, that's like I said, there's a conversation for the next broadcast, but I cannot do Domino's or Wendy's right now. I have too many memories. I think my brain has like a memory type thing going on with it that has to do with that food. And when I eat it, I just feel like death. And it takes me back to a really bad place. It tastes so good, but then I feel like death. And it's not just the food. So we'll have a conversation about that next broadcast. DoorDash y'all some food tonight. No, we have food. We have money. We have family between the two of us, at least so far. Not counting the ones that want to ream me up the butt. We'll work on that later as time moves forward. Mike, how's it going? Mike, you jerk. All right, I'm leaving. This is next broadcast conversation. This is how you guys break boundaries. This is how you break boundaries, and you got to grow up. I will see you next time. I love you all. I like you all. Even wherever you're watching from, I do appreciate you. But the broadcast has officially been taken over. I am proud to say that I have people that love me that much that they want to take over my broadcast. I love you all. I like you all. And I will see you all next broadcast. Please have a great night and kiss your wife goodnight for me. Bye.